considering what's been happening here in the United States of America, Chicago, we got to continue to bring y'all to the front of the congregation. Now that the election is over.
I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
No, thank you, Siri. Now that we're done with the election, even though the Biden and Harris campaign and administration is trying to sabotage Trump, residents are fed up on a local level, and I'm so happy about it. Why? Because I told you guys that just as important as the national election is what goes on in your local municipalities. And when you were voting this November, that you needed to be aware of what was happening so that you can vote differently than you have in the past so that you'll get different results. You want something different, you got to vote differently. You got to do something different or something that you've never done before. And the people in Chicago are mad. They mad. And they said that they fed up with Mayor Johnson. Take a look.
I'm going to start with what you said, Tuesday?
I'm going to defend the people of this city because, look, his attack, let's be very clear, the president-elect, former President Trump, his threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. He has a vision to destroy public education. So when he talks about Project 2025 and dismantling public education, we're talking about a system that has been designed to create leveling opportunities for families who are descendants of slaves. Surely going to...
You always want to use black people in your press conferences, but don't do nothing for black people in Chicago. You already know why I'm here, and I've been coming here for a year. Before I even knew who you was as a mayor, you was dipping off, going to sides when I was out there protesting. You have corporate counsel right next to you, Mary Richardson Lowry, who has no idea what she's doing, because if she would have told you to settle my case. Okay? So yeah, you can look the other way and roll your eyes and do all that stuff, but you do not care about the black Chicago citizens. Okay, you're trying to push this socialist agenda in this capitalist society. In 2019, when you was head leadership with CTU, y'all did a little GoFundMe and went over to Venezuela because y'all already knew what y'all were going to do with bringing them all over here, right? So you're pushing this agenda with the illegal immigrants because y'all done stole all their money because you thought that after that $51 million that the feds gave you back then, that Biden was going to keep sending y'all money. But as you know, Biden is the real racist. The one that y'all say Trump is, Biden been racist.
I'm so glad that y'all starting to wake up. Let me give a round of applause for the people in Chicago. I'm so thankful. Listen. I know that the majority of the black people still voted at over an 80% clip for this Harris and Biden administration. I can't even get my own family on board. So I'm working too, but I'm working feverishly, and we going to bring those along that want to be brought. Those that want to get rich, those that want to keep their families intact, those that want to build wealth, those that want police to actually stamp out the crime that's in their neighborhoods, those that don't want illegal migrants over into this country, those that are tired of seeing these Democrat stronghold cities rob, steal, kill, and destroy everything, and then they leave it in their wake. Those that don't want to continue to be a part of the plantation, one person at a time. This is like the Underground Railroad.
Biden been racist for a long time. He just popped up with Obama as the vice president, and everybody just forgot. Okay? You have no idea how how to govern. 2026, 2027, we're going to get you out, Tony Preckwinkle out, J.B. Pritzker out, Kwame Raoul out, and probably half of the disgraced 50 out too. And the disgraced 50 is the alderman. Okay? My case should have been settled. They stealing black people's property and land in the city of Chicago, and they've been doing it for a very long time. Okay? Majority of the people that work for the city of Chicago and Cook County are realtors or part of real estate agents. That is a conflict of interest, so that's why y'all keep stealing our property and our land.
That is one of the biggest conflicts of interest that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I did not know that. Prior to actually listening to this person talk, I did not know that. if that is not the biggest conflict of interest I've ever seen in my entire life, and I know that these people is finessing these people out of their properties. You know what one of the biggest scams that's not really being highlighted, and maybe I shouldn't even mention it because I don't want black people to start getting no ideas, is to basically have somebody in the office that's working to make sure that they find out what's going on, who's going to be losing their properties and all of this, and then to go in and pay it and then force them to have to pay you, and then all of a sudden they lose their property, is deeded over to you, and then next thing you know, everybody's getting rich and nobody had to really pay for anything, and then they can take over your property, regentrify your neighborhoods. And here's the real finesse. Let me tell you what they really do. They allow for criminals to take over a neighborhood and run the property values down. They buy the property for cheap. They don't do anything with it. So when y'all sit here and you say, well, wealth being put into the neighborhood, or why they not putting resources, why they continuing to fund these immigrant communities, why are they doing this? Is because they're allowing for the property value to go down even further so that it's easier to displace you. Then when they can buy it for cheap, what happens is they then can make a larger proposal for a greater entity to come in and build. Everybody gets rich. That entity then gets into that situation. You're pushed out of your neighborhood because you continue to vote a certain way, and you got a stupid mindset to continue to allow for black culture to drive you down. And so they leveraged you against yourself by not taking care of your community, not voting the way that you're supposed to be, and not being informed. And so you think the system is set up against you, but you voted for it. And then they use people that look like you in order to do so. The greatest finesse of all time was to turn you against the people that educate you to allow you to be finessed by somebody that look like you. And you know what's so simple for black people? You know why identity politics is so dumb? Because they can put a white person in office that'll benefit you, and they'll give you two different candidates. They'll put a white person in office that could benefit you, or a black person that's going to destroy you that look like you. And you say, I want representation over somebody that'll actually benefit you. Ain't that dumb? But it's a black man, but he's the devil, but he's still black. I seen it right here in Detroit. Back when Coleman A. Young was in office, and black people, oh yes, finally got us a black man in office. That man was crooking and hooking and stealing and killing, and every single neighborhood in the entire city was like, pfft. And they finally ran it into bankruptcy. We had black mayors, we had black judges, we had black police officers, police chiefs, we had black superintendents, we had black people that was over all of the schools. We was the blackest city in the United States of America, and they was like, pfft. Black jobs, manufacturing hub of the world, and they stole you blind. They stole this city blind. They took every dollar and dime, and they left y'all children to go and suffer and everything. And they doing the same thing. They running the same play, different field tactics, different teams, same playbook, same identity politics over in Chicago. The same identity politics over in Chicago. Except for the people is like, you know what? No, before we get to the point to where we completely go bankrupt, we going to turn this city red. Oh, the people are standing up. They trying to save you from yourself.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson? You underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in y'all side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago. That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're going to turn red.
Y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Sims, direct your attention towards me, please.
You a criminal. Why do I got to address you?
They don't like you in Chicago, Brandon. Listen, I know that the Brandon Johnson administration over in Chicago hate me. They told me. People in the office told me, hey, man, he not talking to you. He don't never want to talk to you. He hates you. He absolutely despises you. That tend to happens when you call a devil a devil. When you reveal what the cloak is and you standing on business and they can't buy you and they can't tell you what to do when you're not owned by anybody and they can't call a job or call somebody to say, hey, we want him fired. And when you free and you already got it and you say what you want to say when you want to say it, and you very similar to Trump in that you don't care what the establishment says and you're not trying to be buddy-buddy and I don't need no friends in this industry, they tend to hate you. We gonna be on top of this until it's over, and then we gonna go to the next city, and then we going to Memphis, and we going to New York, and then we gonna go over to Oakland, and we gonna go to every single community until we root out Houston. Even though Texas is red, Houston is blue and filled with diseases. Shout out to the STD clinics and the STI tests. My chart is on 2,000% negative. Got all kind of disease. Houston, we gonna turn y'all back red too. We gonna go to every single Democratic strong hellhole and we gonna get these people out of office and we gonna start with our cousins over there in Chicago.
The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're going to protect the undocumented while you're going to allow for the citizens in Chicago to suffer under your, 33%? When C.J. Lopez cooked that 3% up a long time ago. Y'all called it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember, before you came in here and gave that jovial speech, you need to be inspected.
Somebody said leave Houston out of this. Y'all just got the black mayor up out of there and hired a white one because the black mayor sent y'all broke. The white mayor that just got over in Houston, he said, hey man, we broke. Water department stole us blind, all of that stuff. We ain't got no money to continue to fund the things that we supposed to. That don't make no sense. You can't be in Texas and be broke. How you gonna be a broke city in Texas? The Houston mayor got in there and looked at the finances and said, hey man, I know y'all got Afrotech here in Mocha Fest, but it's tough out here in these streets, bro.
And that creep over there.
I ain't leaving nothing alone.
Acting like, you just gonna bully everybody.
Talk to him. I love
You got
Jessica.
people.
I had Jessica on the show.
Officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin. But those of us who grew up on the south side.
I think I'm going to have a segment every single week where I have people like Jessica and Danielle come up on here and give me an update on what's going on.
In west side of Chicago, we all know at some point that bully gets cornered in the alley. And everybody come at him. And he ain't going to have nobody to help him. That's you. That's you. Keep thinking you ain't going to abide by what the president of the United States said. Everybody know better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in city council in red. You know what it is? Yeah. Yeah. So you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's a loser. No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves. We got you, loser.
Talk to him to his face. Oh, the people say, no, Houston is good. This is what happened 7 months ago when y'all just got a new mayor elected.
Well, Houston, we may have a problem. Our mayor announcing today that city government has more expenses than revenue to pay for them.
That's right. Fox 26 political reporter.
See, I'm pulling receipts. I remember doing every single show. See, some of y'all just got here. We've been doing this for a long time, and so I got the memory of an elephant, and I'm very much in tune with what's going on a local level in every single city inside of the United States of America. Yes.
Is back from today's council meeting where city leaders absorbed the financial reality check. Greg.
Yeah, Caroline and Rashi, the news from Mayor John Whitmire came with no sugarcoating. That is, despite massive needs in multiple areas, the city he was just elected to lead is operating in the red.
I think we can all agree on that we're broke.
Let me play that again for the people in the back. I know y'all think that y'all just got there. You moved to Houston, H-Town down. I know Beyonce from there, but let me replay it again for the people in the back.
The city he was just elected to lead is operating in the red.
I think we can all agree on that we're broke.
I just wanted to make sure that I reminded you. I don't want nobody to say, well, Anton, you just talking. You got to substantiate. You got to back up what it is that you say. Okay, well, then we just going to go ahead and pull the receipts. I have no problem digging into the archives and making sure that I go ahead and hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Now, if it's a lie, the Mayor John Whitmire that just got into office is lying. If it's a lie, he told it. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at John. Y'all said leave Houston alone. Okay, all right. We're going to leave y'all alone. We got to focus on Chicago right now. We're not focused on Houston. We're going to focus on Chicago. We coming for every black city and every urban center. We coming for every one of them.
14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the...
Somebody say, how old is that video? 7 months ago. Here, let me show you the receipts. Just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Don't want nobody to be confused about what's going on in these streets. I want to make sure that you see what's going on. This video... 7 months ago. 7 months ago. All right? John Whitmire says the city is broke. You just got him in office. What you mean, how old is the video? You just got him there. He ain't even been in office a year. Ain't even been in office a year. Don't worry about it. We gonna get there. We gonna get there.
The nerve to get on there and talk about cutting the pensions. What about our real estate? Because see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals, and that'll take your money right back. Start it off with that.
In the letter calling for the special meeting, the only item up today for consideration is item number 02024-0013679, an ordinance authorizing the fiscal year 2025 property tax levy. There are 0 nays, 50 nays. This matter has been voted down.
So, the people in Chicago, I got your back. I'm going to continue to hold it down for you. Don't worry about it. I'm with you. We rocking with you. We love you. Let me give you all a round of applause for continuing to work to turn Chicago red.